98FM's Dublin Talks. Call 6797 981.
And good morning from Adrian Kennedy. We are here until midday today. If you watched the Late Toy Show on Friday night, you may have seen a young girl called Sophia Marr being interviewed by Ryan Tuberty about bullying. Here's a little bit of what was said on the programme.
The bullies.
Well, don't tell me who they are, but tell me what bullies do in life generally.
Well, people kick me, they call me weirdo, they slag my hair.
Now, Sophia's mother, Robin, will be talking to us exclusively on the programme this morning about her 8-year-old daughter, about her appearance on the Late Toy Show on Friday, about the bullying, and about her 8-year-old wanting to be a boy. We will talk to Robin a little bit later on the programme. But first off, Jim Gavin, as you will have heard over the weekend, has stepped down as Dublin's senior football manager after leading them to an historic 5 All-Ireland titles in a row earlier this year. Gavin took the reins in 2012 and led Dublin to their second All-Ireland title in 3 years. The following campaign, when they beat Mayo to win the 2013 All-Ireland. Then 2014, Tom Malone is still here with me. Tom, 2014, I was at that semi-final. The only championship loss in Jim Gavin's reign was against Donegal in the semi-final in 2014.
It's absolutely incredible, isn't it? Just saw his record stands at something like 107, 10, 11. Is a whole record. It's just, he's phenomenal. Look, the chase to replace him will be incredible, but I think it's first worth bearing in mind just the job he's done.
Absolutely.
Obviously created history. What's notable, I think, for me about this Dublin side versus, say, other really successful GAA sides, there's an obvious humanity about them that I remember before they say, they're robots, whatever. They're not. They're all involved in the community. They're all involved in so many good initiatives.
They all have their own jobs, and including Jim himself.
Yeah, and now I think Jim's new job approach he's got is a factor in why he stepped down. He's after getting a pretty serious job, so that's probably a factor. But I mean, just hearing we had Bernard Brogan on before, talking about the commitment that these players show to Dublin GAA, and if you think what the players do, well then the manager must be even more incredible as well. You're talking about turning up at training at 5 o'clock straight after work, couple of meetings, prep, and you might not be out there till 9:30, 10 o'clock, and that's excluding gym sessions. That could be 3-4 nights a week. That could be half a day on a Saturday, spending time with your club and all that. And one of the things, there's obviously that dedication, but it seems to be one of the mantras that Jim Gavin instilled in the Dublin panel was the importance of the rest of their lives, and I think that's something that's really stood out for me personally in just seeing these Dublin players.
Okay, so there's never a good time for a legendary manager like that to step down, but maybe this was a good time after winning 5 in a row, after making history. I think a lot of people expected this.
I think one of the key differences this year was after his interviews after the All-Ireland final were different. There's no getting away from that. Bringing his family out in the pitch, the way he spoke to the media, it's much more like the real Jim Gavin that sometimes you might see before you turn on your microphone, and sometimes the Jim Gavin that maybe if you only hear him on the radio or see him on the telly, you think, there's not much he can be very guarded in interviews, but I thought he was much more like Jim Gavin, the real man, the real person at the end of this kind of All-Ireland sequence that led to the 5 in a row. And look, maybe that was the clue, but look, there were many times where, Dublin GAA have issued pretty positive updates, if not firm updates, but positive ones, suggesting that he was definitely going to be around for longer. And I know he was at a press thing on Friday where he expressed he was looking forward to the start of the league in 8 weeks' time, and then on Saturday the news broke. So now, in saying that, he only said he was looking forward to the league. He didn't mention specifically in what capacity.
Yeah. Okay, so Jim's gone. Is anyone else going to fall? Is Cluxton going to pack it in?
I mean, there's a lot of talk about Cluxton, but that's been kind of bubbling over, hasn't it? It was someone I heard it suggested that Cluxton might throw his hat in the ring or in some way get involved in the coaching role. You can't see him possibly taking the head role. According to Malachy Clerkin in the Times today, just heard in the bulletin there's 2 names going to go in the ring into a county board meeting tomorrow night, and the Irish Times are saying that it's Pat Gilroy and Desi Farrell.
Pat Gilroy again?
Yes. Now, Pat Gilroy, you may remember, stepped down from the hurlers at the end of 2018, citing work commitments, but it's understood that his work commitments have changed slightly and that he may have slightly more free time than maybe he had before. So the Irish Times are saying that Pat Gilroy will first refusal. But I mean, Desi Farrell...
no, he had a good record with the footballers.
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, won All-Ireland.
Yeah, absolutely. But Desi Farrell's been around the under-21s. Obviously done a lot of work with Nafina as well. It was suggested that he was going to go and take on Nafina full-time. So intriguing to see what happens from that point of view. Obviously the bookies had Farrell chalked up at odds-on favourite to take this, and sort of had... Gilroy in around third or so in the market, but this is all kind of developed. Apparently tomorrow night there's a meeting going to happen tomorrow night at the Dublin County Board, and we're expecting an announcement by the end of the week.
Fascinating stuff. I have to say, when it flashed up on my phone on Saturday, I went, oh no.
I mean,
and there's a part of me thinks, oh, this is the beginning of the end for
I was racing in Fairyhouse yesterday, and there's a big Meads fundraiser. I mean, you will have seen yourself, your own club, they often have these big GA fundraisers, and there's a bit of a pep in the step in the Royals on Sunday when they thought, oh, we might have a cut here when Jim's gone, and certainly that's probably the feeling around 1 or 2 counties around the country, but I personally wouldn't imagine too much will change from a dominance point of view, obviously from a Dublin point of view, but you'd imagine that one of the things that Jim Gavin has put in place are systems that allow for a succession plan and a smooth succession plan, which is why Desi Farrell is odds on.
All right, we watch this space with interest. Tom, thanks very much indeed. 98 FM's Tom Malone about the succession to Jim Gavin, which, so as he said, Desi Farrell and former manager Pat Gilroy are top of the pile to succeed. Actually, I saw a great tweet put up yesterday on social media by a guy called Vinnie Murphy. And it's a letter to Jim Gavin from his youngest daughter. And it reads, "Dear Jim, you have brought Dublin to victory in the highest level. You made history. I'm devastated when I heard you step down as Dublin manager. Nobody will be better than you, Jim. From Quiva, aged 8, we will miss you," says Quiva. And we all will, and thank you very much, Jim Gavin, from all Dublin fans for what you brought to the side over the last number of years. And you owe the club nothing. You owe the county nothing. You've been a legend. Well done. Thanks very much indeed. This is 98 FM.
This is 98 FM's Dublin Talks. Call 6797 981.
And this is Adrian Kennedy with you until midday today. We have a lot of stuff to get through on the programme. Do you think Lisa Smith, who is currently being questioned by the Gardaí at Kevin Street, do you think she is any threat to this country? That's the question that I want to ask you. And you can call us on 6797 981. You can text, WhatsApp, or send a WhatsApp voice note to 0877 98 98 98. It's the topic that everybody has been talking about, the return to Ireland yesterday of so-called ISIS bride Lisa Smith, the former member of the Defence Forces. As we said, is still being questioned by Gardaí at Kevin Street. The 38-year-old was deported from Turkey yesterday morning and is the subject of a criminal investigation into suspected commission of terrorist offences abroad. The Gardaí have told us her child, who arrived back in Ireland with her, is being cared for by relatives. The Minister for Justice, Charlie Flanagan, described it as a sensitive case and said he wanted to reassure people that all relevant state agencies were closely involved. Now, there's been a lot of commentary online about Lisa since she landed in Ireland, mostly negative, it has to be said. Some of it actually bordering on inciting hatred. But the question we have was raised by one post posted by a guy called Killian on Facebook earlier. Do you actually believe that Lisa Smith is a threat to our security? Is Ireland a less safe place following her return? Well, not at this moment because she's in a Garda station, but, going forward. Here's what Killian wrote. He said, "This morning I've been reading a lot of comments online about Lisa Smith. Some of it is disgusting, wishing death on her, and also some disgusting comments about her child. Here's my opinion. I don't think she's a threat to this country. She hasn't come back here to cause trouble. She's not going to be plotting against us. So why are all these people so angry on Facebook? Why are they afraid of her? She's no more of a threat than anyone else. We need to lay off and calm down. Let the guards do their job and interview her. Labelling her as Ireland's most dangerous woman is actually a joke," says Killian. And I would like to hear from you on 6797981. You can text, you can WhatsApp, you can send a WhatsApp voice note with your opinion to 0877 98 98 98. 0877 98 98 98. Now, as we said yesterday, she arrived back into Ireland and was whisked away fairly quickly by Gardaí. Irish Mirror reporter Ciara Phelan was at Dublin Airport for a lot of the day yesterday. Ciara, welcome to 98 FM.
Thanks, Adrian. Good morning to you and your listeners.
So yesterday, she, after much talk over many weeks, finally returned back to Ireland. What do you know about the flight? Because I've read various reports. I was shocked seeing her on the plane. My understanding is she was sitting down the back of the plane. Did anyone even see her on the plane?
Yes, Adrian, as you mentioned, I was at Dublin Airport yesterday in Terminal 1, and as Lisa Smith landed on the Turkish Airlines flight around 11 minutes past 10, I waited to speak to some passengers that were on board the flight. The first few that came through, when I asked them had they been on the flight from Istanbul, they said it was a normal flight. They didn't see anything out of the ordinary. But then I spoke to three men from Dublin. One man from Coolock, as in the paper today, he spoke to me and said that he actually was to be sitting in the seat 29D, and as he boarded the flight he was told that he was moved, and shortly later he found out that Lisa Smith and her child were actually put in his seat, along with two Army Ranger members and officials from Turkey and from the Department of Foreign Affairs were on the flight. So she was sitting right at the back of the airplane, and there was a bit of commotion in the sense that some passengers could not get to the bathroom. They couldn't exit the plane from the back. So there was, some people on board did realise who they were sitting with on the plane.
Okay, so the word kind of spread around the plane. I know, for example, an RT reporter went to her and asked her for comment, and she said no. And then when the plane landed in Dublin, she alone and her child were taken off by the rear doors of the plane with steps.
Yeah, that's correct. And two other passengers I spoke to, a father and son, they had paid to sit beside one another on the airplane, but again, they were moved because they were sitting towards the back to cater for Miss Smith. And one man said he noticed her straight away. He locked eyes with her. He said his heart dropped when he realised who it was on the plane. And he said that she would place a blanket over her head when she thought that anyone would recognise her or was looking at her. So when they landed down, she was, as you said, whisked away from the rear end of the plane and straight into an SUV, where she was later arrested by Gardaí and sent to Kevin Street Garda Station for questioning. But two Dublin men did say that they were a little bit agitated then on the flight. They were a little bit annoyed that they hadn't been informed, that obviously there has been a lot of commentary back home here in Ireland, and they were a little bit annoyed that they hadn't been informed on who was on the flight. But like I said, some passengers that I spoke to said it was nothing out of the ordinary, other than they found it kind of difficult to get to the bathroom.
Okay, so she is currently being detained by Gardaí at Kevin Street Garda Station. She can be held, my understanding is, for up to 3 days.
That's correct, yep. So she was, like I said, whisked away in an SUV yesterday. Her 2-year-old child, which, you know, the welfare of this child has been paramount, and the child, as we understand, has been handed over to relatives of Lisa Smith. and have been in communication with TUSLA, the Child and Family Agency. And she was brought down, as we saw the footage, into an SUV and was straight away, and can be held up to 3 days in Kevin Street Garda Station for questioning on suspicion of terrorist offences. And last night, Taoiseach Simon Coveney said it is up to the Director of Public Prosecutions as to whether they can take a case successfully against Lisa Smith, and it will come on the back of a report from Gardaí.
Okay, now, they have been investigating this woman since 2012. In theory, you would think that they have a lot against her, but time will tell as to whether or not she gets released, whether her file is prepared for the DPP or whatever happens from this point on. I know people from Dundalk, which is where she's from, where her family are very well liked and respected in Dundalk, but not everybody is a big fan of Lisa Smith, I read, Ciara.
No, there's a former friend of Lisa Smith who was speaking to RT yesterday, Carol Duffy. She's a County Louth woman, and she actually helped Lisa convert to Islam in 2011. And she said yesterday that Lisa, when she was converting religion, that sometimes religion brings out the best in people, but in Lisa's case it brought out the worst. She said that Lisa became arrogant and self-centred and was arguing with a lot of people, and some women decided to gather together and wanted to address Lisa's behaviour. So when Carol actually approached Lisa at her own home to say, look, we are concerned about the behaviour, some people aren't happy with the way you are acting, they had a row, and they no longer spoke to one another. So Carol has said that when Lisa comes back to Dundalk, if she does, that she will not be welcome back to the mosque in their hometown. That obviously they're not going to stop her from going in to pray, but she will not be welcome in any activities that the group of women participate in.
All right, it'll be interesting to see what happens over the next 24 hours as to regards whether she is charged with anything or released without charge. Time will tell. Irish Mirror reporter Ciara Phelan, thanks very much indeed for talking to us.
Thank you.
And I would like to hear from you on 6797 981. You can text, you can WhatsApp, or you can send a WhatsApp voice note to 0877 98 98 98. 0877 98 98 98. I want to read again just one post that appeared on social media about the hype and whatever surrounding Lisa Smith. Killian wrote, "This morning I've been reading a lot of comments about this Lisa Smith. Some of it is disgusting, wishing death on her, and also some disgusting comments about her child. Here's my opinion. I don't think she's a threat to this country. She hasn't come back here to cause trouble. She's not going to be plotting against us. So why are all these people so angry on Facebook? Why are they afraid of her? She's no more of a threat than anyone else. We need to lay off and calm down. Let the Gardaí do their job and interview her. Labelling her as Ireland's most dangerous woman is actually a joke," says Killian. Carl, I'm going to talk to you straight after the ad break. You believe that this woman is a threat to this country?
I do indeed. She's a wild criminal. Okay,
stay there. I'll be with you straight after the break.
The sound of the city from Balbriggan to Blanchardstown. Dublin Talks. 98FM's Dublin Talks.
And good morning from Adrian Kennedy. Yesterday, as you will know, the woman who's been labelled the ISIS bride, Lisa Smith, arrived home to Ireland, was immediately arrested by Gardaí, where she's being questioned as we speak for a second day at Kevin Street Garda Station. She can be held for up to 3 days. Her child, who arrived back in Ireland with her, is being cared for by relatives. Now, my question to you is, because if you remember a couple of weeks ago, we had this conversation about her being brought back and loads of you saying, oh, she should be left there, she made her bed, lie in it, blah, 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 blah. The fact of the matter is she's now home, so that conversation is mute. We don't need to have that conversation anymore. She is back in Ireland. And she's an Irish citizen. Look, the bottom line of this conversation is she's an Irish citizen. She's entitled to be here. What happens to her going forward remains to be seen. But there is no conversation on people texting in she should be sent back. That's not going to happen. Okay, so that's a pointless conversation. But what I want to hear from you is whether or not you believe this woman is a danger to this country. That's the question that I want to ask. Now, obviously, the longer she's detained by the Gardaí, the less of a threat she is. We don't know what's going to happen after the Garda questioning, whether she gets released with a file to the DPP or gets released without charge or actually gets... actually appears in court facing charges. We'll have to wait and see. But overall... do you see her as a threat? Now, Carl, you were saying that, yes, she is a threat to this country. In what way?
100%. She's a war criminal, Adrian. She willingly left to join the group, the United group. This wasn't like she fell in love with a Muslim man and then all of a sudden she fell into this. She literally fell into it, went out of her way to join this group. Like, this is like, we're talking about crimes against humanity here. Do you know what I mean? Like, she has enough information on people who are part of ISIS, and also she probably knows, more than likely, like she'll know a lot. People are underplaying it because she's a female. This was a man, it'd be completely different. And yes, she hasn't done, but as far as I know, that child wouldn't be considered Irish.
The child would be. Sorry, Carl. The child would be considered Irish on the basis that the child's mother is Irish.
No, I do understand.
I mean, you can get an Irish passport if your grandmother is from Ireland. So the child is Irish. There is no question about that.
This has nothing to do with religion. This has nothing to do with religion. This has to do with like joining a terrorist organisation, like a splinter cell. You know what I mean? Like, people are saying, "Oh, because she's Muslim." Just because you're a Muslim doesn't mean you agree with what, like, ISIS have done. Like,
absolutely not. I mean? And in fact, if you heard when I was talking to Ciara there a couple of minutes ago, a former friend of hers from Dundalk in County Louth has basically said she won't be welcome back in their mosque in Dundalk. So, yes, she doesn't represent the average commoner gardener Muslim. That's the point.
And obviously she would know enough information on people who are part of ISIS. Or more than likely probably in Ireland. We don't actually have like what the UK have or France or the States. We don't have a kind of a list of people who could be interested to Ireland. People think just because we're Ireland, poor old Ireland, it'll never happen here. There's an awful lot of Muslims in Ireland. And there's an awful lot of Muslims in Ireland who could be sympathisers to ISIS and groups like that. But we don't know.
Well, you don't know that we don't know, if you know what I mean. In that this woman was being monitored by Gardaí from fairly early on in her conversion to Islam, and then she left the country. So you have to give the Gardaí credit that they know what's what in terms of what people are becoming radicalised.
Yeah. Like, it's kind of like, did you ever see those documentaries where they chase Nazi hunters, where they chase someone who's a guard? You see a guard at like a prison camp in Belgium. It's more or less the same thing. Like, I mean, she didn't just go there just for the crack and go on holiday. She was part or involved somehow, somewhere doing something. You know what I mean?
Okay, so your reason for seeing this woman as a threat to this country is because she believes in this radical ideology?
100%. She should be handed over to the Hague for crimes against humanity.
All right, stay there for 1 second. 6797981 is our telephone number. Text, WhatsApp, or send a WhatsApp voice note to 0877 98 98 98. Alan, you're also saying that people should be very concerned about Lisa Smith's return.
Yes, they should, because we don't know what mental state this woman is in. She went to get involved in the terrorist organisation, so I've heard her solicitor speaking that there's different facets to ISIS, so therefore she wasn't involved in the killing bit. It's nonsense. And say she fell in love with a man, the fact that she's had 3 or 4 husbands, you know, it tells you what the person is like. I would be deeply concerned about this one's mental state and what.
But that's a different conversation, in fairness, Alan. And if she has mental health issues, then you would like to think she will get the appropriate help.
I'm not saying mental health issues. I'm talking about mental state. Is she a psychopath? The likes seeing people's heads been cut off or people been thrown off roofs. So that's
again. This is all speculation, though, Alan, as regards anything she may have seen or anything she may have done.
So the guys she was married to were fully involved in carrying out killings. And that's all been documented previously before. So I have no faith in the Gardaí in this country. And I'll tell you why.
But sorry, are we all guilty by association?
So she was married to a guy that was throwing people off roofs, right? Let's, for instance, that was the case. He got killed. She went and married another guy who was involved in the exact same thing. He was killed, and she went and married another guy. So at what point in the marriage do you say, hang on, I actually don't agree with this? Is that not a fundamental thing before you go marry someone? Do you like throwing people off roofs? That may sound a bit flippant, but that's where we are.
Is this woman, though, Alan, any more of a threat to this country than, say, for example, some of the psychopathic dissident Republicans we have living amongst us?
She's the same threat as them, as far as I'm concerned.
She's the same threat?
Yeah, she is a threat. And I'll go back to the point.
A threat of causing harm to this state?
Without doubt. Without doubt.
So you think...
We don't know.
Sorry, do you believe, Alan, that if this woman should be released from custody, which remains to be seen, we don't know what's going to happen, we don't know if she's going to be charged with anything or if she'll be released without charge, it all remains to be seen. But let's imagine she is released pending trial or she's released pending a DPP file or whatever. What do you think? She's going to head back to Dundalk and start building...
How do you know she's not?
Bomb vests.
How do you know she's not? So the fact is that we already have people in the sympathisers in this country who are being monitored by the Gardaí. So tell you we already have a problem.
But according to the Garda Commissioner, a very small. Very, very, very small.
So look at the nut job on Friday on London Bridge. That only took one nut job. So we can say it's very small, but it only takes one idiot with a suicide vest or whatever, a truck or whatever, to cause serious issues. So the fact, and this goes back to the stupid Irish mentality that, oh, sure, it's all right. Let's not forget that the last terrorist attack on London Bridge, that guy was living in Dublin, and the Gardaí had no idea that this guy was living in Dublin. Correct. And going back and forth to the UK. So let's hold our hands up here and say, as a nation, we need to cop the hell on.
OK, stay there for 1 second, Alan. 6797981 is our telephone number. Text, WhatsApp, or a WhatsApp voice note to 0877 98 98 98. 0877 98 98 98. A message just came in and it says, I can't believe you just compared Lisa Smith to the Republicans who are fighting for the freedom of their country. Can I just say to the person who sent that message, we all signed up to a peace process on this island, but there are a certain group who give the two fingers to that, who give the two fingers to the will of the people of the island of Ireland, north and south, who have set off bombs, who killed a journalist in Derry, who just want to cause mayhem. So in terms of fighting for the freedom of their country, we have all agreed a path to that, except for this group of dissident Republican nutjobs. Anyway, where am I going now? I am going to Carol. You're on Dublin's 98 FM. Hi, Carol.
Hello, Adrian. How are you?
Carol, you would be concerned as well.
No.
Oh, no.
I tell you what I'd be more concerned about. The turf war we're having, the drug turf war we have at the moment. Being an innocent bystander and being shot by one of them, there's more chance of it.
Okay, sorry, my mistake. You would be more concerned about the drug wars going on here in Dublin and across the country, in fact, than any threat that somebody like Lisa Smith might pose.
Yeah, I mean, she'd be well monitored, Adrian. She'd be watched once she gets back into civilization, I suppose. But, I mean, many innocent people have been killed by the
drugs wars.
The drug wars, exactly.
And with the way in which they kill people with impunity in broad daylight, as we see far too frequently, another innocent person is going to be killed. It's just a matter of time. So, yes, I take your point that... Alan, what do you say to that? I'd be more worried about that
yes.
now. Alan, what do you say to that? That realistically speaking, this woman is such a high-profile case that we are far more at risk and should be far more concerned about the ongoing drug wars around Ireland, particularly here in Dublin.
We should be concerned with everyone that causes violence in the country that involves drugs or whatever it may be. But the fact is, we have an unknown entity coming back into our country who was involved in a terrorist organisation that we've got no idea what her final intent is. So we can sit there and say, oh, it's all right, she's coming back, it's about the child. This woman needs to be watched, needs to be monitored on a daily basis. And she actually needs to sign on to a Garda station once a day, if she can find one that's open, once a day without fail, or twice a day without fail. The fact that it's about time as a country we cop the hell on and stop allowing people who've linked to terrorist organisation to come back and forth from our country. It's about time we cop the hell on, and this person needs to be watched.
All right, stay there for a second. 6797981 is our number. This message was sent in to us by Morris. It was? Oh no, hang on, I'll get it for you now in 1 second. Just a setting up to change here. Bobby, you're on 98 FM. How are you, Bobby?
Not too bad, sir.
Good, thanks, Bobby. What did you want to say?
Well, realistically, she was involved. She could have been raising money or whatever she was doing, but and even at that, she was minding someone's kid that was involved. And also, I mean, there's innocent reporters that went over there, got their heads chopped off. They weren't even involved in the fighting. And now we open arms and let her back in. It's a typical do-gooder.
Well, no, we didn't open arms. We didn't open arms. No. Bobby,
we wouldn't be having this debate if there wasn't all these do-gooders that wanted her back here. You man?
Nobody wanted her back here. Nobody wanted.
Why did they take her back then?
Because she's an Irish citizen, and her child is an Irish citizen. And let's think about the child. Okay.
Okay. So when she made
a two-year-old kid has been brought back.
When she made the Suis's head, was she not automatically then? She's from that country then, no? Was she not a citizen of that country?
No, because her mother... Here, if you're born in London and your granny is from Dublin, you can be an Irish citizen. Okay?
Hold on a minute. There's foreign people in this country and they have children over here and all of the kids are Irish. So
yeah, it doesn't work. The fact of the matter is that somebody who is born of an Irish parent is entitled to Irish citizenship. Okay.
And also if someone's married to an Irish citizen, they're automatically entitled to an Irish citizenship.
That's not what this conversation is. This conversation is about a child, an Irish citizen child, being brought back to this country rather than left in a squalid camp in Syria. But also about an Irish woman who is entitled to come back to the country of her citizenship.
Well, hopefully all will go well, and hopefully this time next year we're not talking about some lunatic going into a church or something and blowing up a load of people, and the next thing it turns out to be that wagon. And if it is, well, so be it. But I mean, if it does happen, who's going to take the blame then? They'll all be banging their heads in the bleeding sand as usual.
Do you not think this woman's going to be monitored very closely?
No, absolutely not. She's showing on once a week in the garden station, are you mad?
Well, anyway, we'll have to wait and see as to what actually happens with her.
Well, listen, I'm telling you now, she'll be like a man Larry Murphy. Nobody know where they are. Nobody know where they fucking are.
All right, Bobby, thanks very much indeed for your call. Thank you, all of you, for your calls. We'll have to wait and see. This all really... hangs on what happens over the next 48 hours. The Gardaí can question Lisa Smith for up to 3 days, so that brings us up to Wednesday, and then she has to be released or charged at that point. She can be held for 3 days. So, time will tell. She is still being questioned by Gardaí at Kevin Street, and we will know today or tomorrow or at the very latest 10 o'clock on Wednesday whether she is to be released or charged. Let me just play the WhatsApp voice note from Morris.
Yeah, good morning, Adrian. As an ex-Irish Army soldier, Lisa Smith willingly went and joined an illegal army in a foreign country that destroyed that country and killed many innocent people. A lot of the Yazidi women were taken as sex slaves, butchered. And if you support an organisation like that, you're a part of it. I think the authorities will have to make sure that she's not a threat and to make sure that her child is not being radicalised. Free will and a conscience. She joined with a free will and she has to live with what she got involved with for the rest of her life with a guilty conscience. But you know, some people can't turn over a new leaf, so let's see what happens. Cheers, Morris.
All right, Morris, thanks very much indeed for your messages, and thanks for all of your calls. This is 98 FM's Dublin Talks with Adrian Kennedy. Now, on the way after the break. Oh, yeah, would you like to win yourself? This is a lovely prize, actually. Ireland's biggest drive-in movie experience is back with lots of the world's biggest movies on the world's biggest screen this Christmas. The 98 FM Retro Drive-In Movies takes place at Leopardstown Racecourse at exit 15 on the M50. You can watch Elf, Love Actually, the Santa Claus movie, and all your favourite Christmas films from the comfort of your own car. If you want more info, you can check out retrodrivein.ie. Anyhow, I have a pair of tickets to go along to the Retro Drive-In movies over the Christmas time. And all I want you to do is share with us something that we don't already know. Fascinate us with a fascinating fact. Call us right now on 6797 981. You can text, WhatsApp, or send a WhatsApp voice note to 0877 98 98 98.
The sound of the city from Adamstown to Artane. Dublin Talks. 98FM's Dublin Talks.
Monday morning, December 2nd, 2019. This is 98FM's Dublin Talks. I'm Adrian Kennedy. That man there is Jeremy Dixon. And this bit of the show, in which you could win yourself tickets for Retro Drive-In movies, which start very soon. You just have to share with us something that we don't already know. Tell us something that we're going to go, wow, I never knew that.
So there I was on Saturday. There's nobody listening to the show that will know this because I didn't know it and I know everything. So there I was on Saturday.
Yeah.
And I was driving to Artane.
Okay,
from my gaff to Artane. And I rang my mother and asked her the best way to go to Artane.
Did you not have asked Google Maps, no?
What?
Did you not have asked Google Maps?
I was on the phone to her and I says, where are you going? I'm going to Artane. Which way are you going? You know, mothers always want you to go the best way. Anyway, she mentioned the name of a bridge that I should go across.
Okay.
And I never heard of this bridge before. Okay?
Right.
Did you know, how many of you knew this? The toll bridge, you know the Eastling toll bridge?
I do.
What
indeed.
do you call that toll bridge?
The Eastling toll bridge.
I've always called it the Eastling toll bridge.
That's what it is called?
No, my mother doesn't call it that. It actually has a name.
Yeah, the Eastling toll bridge.
No, it's named after someone. And that person wasn't called East Link, by the way.
Oh.
There's actually a name on the Eastling toll bridge. Well, I tell you, in my 36 years on this planet, I never knew that this was the case until my mother told me at the weekend. Does anybody know, actually, before I tell you what it is?
So the Eastling toll bridge was originally opened in 1984, and you're telling me that it's not called the Eastling toll bridge?
No, it's not. It actually has...
A name?
A name that I only found out on Saturday. And
so, like, you go up the river and you've the O'Connell Bridge.
Yeah.
Named after Mr. Daniel O'Connell.
The Rosie Beckett Bridge.
Named after Rosie.
Yeah.
And you're telling me that the Eastlink toll bridge has a name.
Yeah, if anybody knows, text us. Without Googling it, but I don't think you can even find it on Google. But when the bridge first opened, it was actually named after somebody. And... I don't even know who this person is.
Okay, if anybody knows the answer to that, will you let us know on 6797 981. Text, WhatsApp, or send a WhatsApp voice note to 0877 98 98 98. And in fact, is Jeremy's mammy just a nutter and it's actually called the Eastling toll bridge?
Well, in fact, even when you Google Eastling toll bridge, that's what it's called. So this poor bridge...
But that's what we all call it.
I know, but this poor bridge, it was named after someone. This fella or woman doesn't get a mention, doesn't get a look in.
Okay, all right. Okay.
What happens when you put it in Google Maps?
I don't know.
Comes up Eastling toll bridge.
Tell us something we don't know. That was something I didn't know, because apparently it has a name. It has been named after somebody. We want you to tell us something we don't know. On 6797 981, you can call us there. You can text, WhatsApp, or send a WhatsApp voice note to 0877 98 98 98. David, tell us something we don't know.
Well, the role of Dirty Harry was originally written for Frank Sinatra instead of Clint Eastwood.
Oh, God, I couldn't picture that now.
Nor could I.
Oh, Bloodshot Eyes himself.
So crooning is, wait, go ahead, make my day.
Something like that, yeah, you'd really give up, wouldn't you?
Do you feel lucky, punk?
How many shots did I have?
Yeah. Oh my God, that's...
So it was originally written for Frank Sinatra.
Now explain to the younger listeners who Frank Sinatra is, Adrian.
Frank Sinatra is a singer. No, he was an actor as well, by the way.
Yes. But I did it my way.
That's what he said, yeah. I could not imagine Frank Sinatra in that role at all.
There you go, yeah.
That's mad, that is.
Yeah.
And how did they end up giving it to Clint Eastwood?
Because Frank Sinatra was contractually obliged to do another film.
Oh, right, okay, so he couldn't actually do it.
Yeah.
Fascinating. I never knew that, David. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Does David know the name of the bridge, by the way?
Any idea what the Eastlink Bridge is called?
More money for the government bridge, is it?
Well, there is that. That could be a name. And in fact, if you were listening to the news the other day, Dublin City Council are putting up the price of it next year.
Are they really?
Yeah, they are. But no, that's not the name, apparently.
No. If you go into Google Maps, and you can try this on your phone, if you have your phone out here, Google Maps doesn't even have the respect to give the bridge its proper name.
Oh.
On Google Maps, it doesn't even call it the Eastling Toll Bridge, it calls it R131.
Well, that's what it is. It is the R131.
Yeah, nobody who uses those words for roads. Adrian, where are you at the moment? Hi, Jeremy. Thanks for ringing. I'm on R131 at the moment. You wouldn't say that, would you?
Edward, you're on 98 FM. How are you, Edward?
Good morning, guys.
Firstly, Edward, do you know the name? Do you know what the Eastling Toll Bridge is called?
I just googled it a few seconds ago. To be honest, it's called Tom Clark's Bridge. Is it?
So you had to Google the answer. In fact, I should imagine that everybody texting in the answer Googled it, because I never knew this at all.
Remember where you heard it first?
In fairness, I should have known that because I'm driving a taxi, but I didn't know it, to be honest.
Right.
But in all your years driving a taxi, has anybody ever said, "Will you take me across the Tom Clark Bridge"?
No one ever.
Now, Tom Clark, for those of you who don't know, was part of the 1916 Rising. He's one of the signatories to the proclamation.
So he's a big deal.
He was a big deal back in the day. So the Eastlink Toll Bridge is actually called the Tom Clark Bridge, and none of us knew this until today.
Here's another question for both of you. How many cars do you think cross the Eastlink Toll Bridge on a day?
A lot.
How many would you say?
I have no idea. 15,000.
17,000.
Oh, it was close then, wasn't it?
Wasn't it?
Anyway, Edward, tell us something we don't know.
I've got an interesting fact. Did you know that the cows don't have the upper teeth?
Did we know that cows don't have
the upper teeth?
They don't have upper teeth?
No.
Really?
Really?
So how do they chew grass?
Don't ask me.
Adrian, have you ever taken grass yourself?
I've never eaten it, no. No, I haven't.
But I would imagine it's quite difficult to digest if you don't chew it.
Well, who knew? I just Googled a photograph of a cow's teeth and he just have gums up the top.
Show me that, show me.
Look. Oh my, look. No teeth.
Oh, that's very weird looking.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
So on
he looks like my granny. My granny didn't have teeth on her upper. Grannies never did.
So a cow has lower teeth but no upper teeth. I never knew that. I never, ever knew that.
I only found out a few weeks ago and I was shocked.
You've just fascinated...
That's an interesting fact.
It is. You just fascinated me with something I did not know. Thanks, Edward.
So how do they make the noise moo if they don't have teeth?
You don't need teeth to say moo.
You need teeth.
Moo.
You need teeth to make noise.
No, you don't.
Yes, you do.
How do you think gummy people make noise?
Well, my granny, who was gummy, God rest her, used to just thought of this. That's all she did. That's true, by the way.
Speak without teeth. Eddie, tell us something we don't know.
Good morning, Adrian.
Good morning, Eddie.
Over in China, you're not allowed to have your phone on silent while taking a photo.
No, that's actually Japan.
Oh, well.
Japan, yeah. So you have fascinated us with the fact. Yes, that is true. In Japan...
Give us that again.
Okay, in Japan, you are... the mobile phone companies, when they're bringing out a mobile phone, so say the iPhone, I have one here, right? I can put my phone on silent and I can take a photograph and nobody will know I've taken the photograph. Like, you've no idea I just took a photograph, which I just did.
Why'd you take a photograph of me?
Just for the hell of it, right?
Okay.
But in Japan, it has to... Oh, hang on. Where's the noise? It should make should actually make a noise.
A shutter noise.
A shutter noise. Well, mine's not making a shutter noise at all.
Who are you taking sneaky pictures of, Adrian?
I'm taking sneaky pictures of you.
Oh.
But yes, so you can't, for example, if you're in Japan, you can't take a secret photograph of somebody on, say, the subway or whatever. The phone has to make a sound.
How do you police that, lads, though? How do you...
It's... Okay, on this phone I can disable the sound of the camera click.
Oh, you can't do it.
You can't do it in Japan. You cannot disable the camera click sound when you're in Japan. So there.
And where did you find this out?
Eddie?
Yeah.
How did you find this out?
Well, I watched the golf and it was on the golf channel. All the golfers were complaining about the noise of the people taking the photographs while they're taking the shot.
Oh, did they really? All right.
Yeah.
That makes sense because... Oh, what's happened there? Sorry, that's my phone making lots of noise. I was trying to demonstrate, well, you know what the clicker sound is. Mine is actually disabled completely by the sounds of it.
Eddie, about 6 months ago I was in the gym and there was a fella who was working out beside me in the gym and he was making an idiot of himself, and I went to take a photograph of him to send to my mates because he was such an idiot. But didn't I forget that I had the flash on the phone? So
always happens.
So I'm standing behind him and I'm holding my phone underneath my armpit to try and take a sneaky photograph. Next minute, this big flash lights up the whole gym, and your man looks around and he's like, "Why are you taking a photograph of me?" So make sure your flash is off for sneaky photographs.
Good to talk to you, but that's a true fact. It's not China though. It's Japan. You cannot silently take a photograph. The phones have to, by default, have a click.
Which is a great idea, isn't it?
It is a good idea, actually, yeah. We're going to take a quick break. We'll take another couple of calls of you telling us something that we don't know. It's 11 o'clock across Dublin. Good morning. This is Adrian Kennedy. This is 98FM's Dublin Talks. And this is Trish with Monday's top headlines.
Thanks, Adrian. City councillors are this week expected to rubber stamp plans to introduce 30km/h zones in all residential areas. The latest cut to speed limits is expected to kick in on a phased basis from next March. It'll start with northwestern suburbs such as Glasnevin, Finglas and Ballymun. Of the 319 people treated at the Rotunda's sexual assault treatment unit last year, 40% didn't report being attacked to Gardaí. Patients ranged in age from 14 to over 70, while 6 children under the age of 14 attended the clinic. Gardaí are continuing to question Lisa Smith this morning over her association with the so-called Islamic State. The Dundalk woman arrived back into Dublin yesterday and was taken into custody, while her 2-year-old daughter is being looked after by family. And Gardaí have started an operation to help the flow of public transport and minimise traffic disruption in the run-up to Christmas. Operation Open City will run in Dublin and other cities until Christmas Eve. There will also be a focus on traffic management issues around car parks at major shopping centres. And you're up to date on 98.
98FM's Dublin Talks. Call 6797 981.
And this is Adrian Kennedy. That man there is Jeremy. And news just breaking that prices on the Tom Clark Bridge are to increase in 2020. Yeah, there you go.
I have a lot of time on my hands and I was doing the maths there. So when the Eastling Toll Bridge, the Tom Clark Bridge, was built, it cost €8 million.
Correct.
Okay. 17,000 cars cross it every day, paying on average 150, something like that. So 150. So that's, the bridge is making about 22 grand a day.
Fantastic.
Okay. No, say about 25 grand a day, yeah? Multiply 25,000, Adrian, by 365. Why do you get this figure?
Okay, so 25,000 a day, we'll say.
Yeah, so say the bridge is making 25 grand a day.
25,000 a day by 365. That's 9.1 million
a year.
And it's been open since 1984. How many years ago is that? 36 years ago by 36. That's
okay, hang on. So the bridge that cost 8 million
has made 328 million.
Oh my God.
So it's made 320 million.
A third of €1 billion.
Yeah, there you go. Anyway. Now, where are we going? Now, we were talking about bridges and the Tom Clark Bridge and blah-de-blah. Now, Morgan, you're on 98FM. How are you, Morgan?
Good, Adrian. How are yourself?
You're about to tell us something we don't know.
Well, there's a plaque on both sides of O'Connell Street Bridge, as everybody knows, and it has on it that it's the Carlisle Bridge.
Because apparently, is that not what it used to be called?
No, well, the plaques are still there, so I'm just taking it that it is still called the Carlisle Bridge.
Well, no, the bridge was built before your man Daniel O'Connell died, wasn't it?
Hang on now, I have to find out. So you're telling me that it's actually probably still called the Carlisle Bridge?
Yeah, the plaques are still there on both sides, and it's spelled Carisle.
Oh, yeah, I'm looking at a plaque, yeah.
Oh, right, okay, here we go. Here's the...
Because the bridge is around since 1790.
Yeah.
So it's around a long time.
Yeah, see, I tell everybody that the bridge was called after my family because my surname is Carlisle.
Oh, right.
But I spell it differently. It's Carlyle.
And why would they name the bridge after your family?
Why not?
I don't have a clue. That's my claim to fame.
Yeah, it was originally called the Carlisle Bridge. And then when it was rebuilt since 1860... It was intended to widen the Carlisle Bridge to bring it to the same width as Sackville Street, which is now O'Connell Street. When the bridge reopened in 1882, it was renamed for Daniel O'Connell when the statue in his honour was unveiled.
Yeah.
So my claim to fame is gone.
Well, it hasn't been called the Carlisle Bridge since 1882. That's a fair while ago.
Broken now.
I tell you though, lads, it's some bridge.
On my Monday.
Isn't it some bridge? Like, there's buses go across that every day, and like it's around donkey's years, and it's still standing.
It is still standing.
Not a bother on it.
Anyway, it used to be the Carlisle Bridge, Morgan Carlisle. Thank you very much.
No problem.
Good luck. Thank you. Ken, tell us something we don't know.
Hi guys, how are you?
Good, thank you.
First of all, just to go off on a tangent, the O'Connell Bridge is a perfect square. That's another fun fact about that.
Yeah, we knew that, didn't we, Jeremy?
No, I didn't know that.
It's as long as it's wide or something like that. Yeah,
perfect square. Yeah. But I was listening to Adrian talking about the East Link Bridge. The West Link Bridge, over 100,000 cars per day travel over that at an average of £3 a car. Do your maths on that, and then you'll see how much money.
I know, we don't end up crying.
My calculator won't calculate that high. Anyway, what's your fascinating fact, Ken?
Do you know the programme Only Fools and Horses?
I do indeed, of course, yeah.
Well, Del Boy wasn't the original. David Jason wasn't up for the original role.
Really?
The original role was, you know, your man that plays Roy Slater in it, Raquel's ex-husband, the ex-copper.
Yes. Oh yeah.
He was offered the role and he turned it down.
Oh, so David Jason was second choice?
I think he was third choice. I don't know who was second, but I definitely wasn't first choice anyway. But it's hard to imagine him.
It's hard to imagine anybody else being Del Boy except David Jason, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, but that's only because we know him as that now.
I know, but still, you can't.
It wouldn't have been as successful with anybody else, I don't think.
Well, I only found out there about a year ago when I was watching an old episode of Christmas Time that the song isn't Bucky Street, it's Hooky Street.
Hooky Street, yeah.
I've been calling it Bucky Street for years. No. God bless Bucky Street.
Hooky Street.
And that's where they live, is it?
Yeah.
And is it a real place in London?
No, Hooky is like a ducker and diver.
Oh, so the name...
Something like that, something like that, yeah. Francis, tell us something we don't know.
Morning, lads. How are you?
Francis?
Good. So my fact is, obviously Santa's going to be delivering all these presents on Christmas Eve to over 90 million homes. So do you know how fast his sleigh has to travel?
In order to get to all the homes?
So how fast his sleigh has to be to get to all the homes. Obviously he has to get it serviced and whatever else, but it has to hit this minimum figure to accommodate the 90 million people around the world. So basically, the speed it needs to go at is 186,282.4 miles per second. That works out at roughly 671 miles per hour.
That's fast.
671 miles per hour?
Per hour.
You don't even drive that fast, Adrian, do you?
If you want to go in seconds, it's 186,282.4.
Here, lads.
He went to the trouble of working this out.
That's it, yeah. That's the standard he's working out.
That is some speed. My God Almighty! Wait till Shane Ross gets a hold of him.
No, Santa's using an electrical sleigh now at the moment.
Oh, is he?
Yeah,
all right, so it's environment.
He's charging us. Yeah.
That's some speed, isn't it?
That's something else now. You know, that's really working to the
max,
there,
yeah, it really is. But now, in fairness to him, he only does one day's work a year, so...
Yep. He's kind of like you, Adrian, actually.
Bit like me, yeah. Thanks, Francis.
There's actually a great movie. There's a great Christmas movie, if you have young kids, that's on Netflix called The Christmas Chronicles. It was out last year.
Right.
Kurt Russell plays Santa Claus, and it's a beautiful, beautiful Christmas movie. But it explains in it how Santa gets to all the houses, and it's all using portals.
Oh.
So Santa's up in the sky, and he's over Ireland, yeah?
Yeah.
He doesn't actually have to fly all the way down to Russia. He goes through this wormhole in the sky, goes...
Yeah.
And it goes through a portal, and then he ends up in Moscow in like 4 seconds. So that's how it's done.
I never
You
knew.
Obviously didn't watch the Christmas Chronicles.
I'll watch it. Alan, tell us something we don't know.
Morning, lads.
How are you, Alan?
A strange one for you. So the river turtle and the sea cucumber can actually breathe out of their backsides.
Okay, I'm wondering why I wanted to know that, but okay. So sorry, you say that again. The river
turtle
Right, so this is a turtle that lives in rivers, I'm assuming.
Yeah. And the sea cucumber.
And the sea cucumber, which is some sort of a plant, is it?
I'm not actually sure, and I think a dragonfly can do it as well, but they can breathe out their backside.
Now,
did you know a dragon can breathe out of its backside?
No, I didn't. Now, there is air comes out of people's backsides, but I've never known about it going in, so you're telling me that they can breathe through their arses?
Yeah.
I know an awful lot of people around here who do exactly that.
No, they talk through their arses.
Oh, they talk through their arses. Yeah. That's a fascinating fact. Thank you, Alan. Shauna.
Hi.
Shauna, tell us something we don't already know.
This isn't very, appropriate. No,
Sorry, I can't hear a word you're saying, Shauna. It sounds like you're in Russia.
Oh.
Hello?
Yeah, so a giraffe, a male giraffe, will constantly headbutt a female giraffe in the bladder, and when she urinates, he'll taste it and then see if she's ready for business.
I've seen people do that on Copperface Jacks on a Saturday night in fairness. No, actually.
Hang on. I'm just visualising this fella with a really long neck, yeah?
Yeah.
And he goes up to your one and he headbutts her in the bladder. She wheezes because he's after headbutting her. And then he tastes her wee, and then he knows whether she's ready to get down to... Business?
Yeah, pretty much.
That's mad.
And does she have a say in the matter?
Obviously not. Where's the consent?
Well, I don't know where the consent is. No, does she have a say in the matter?
Never.
So consent doesn't exist in the giraffe world?
It doesn't look that way anyway.
No.
So he approaches her not knowing what sort of... He sticks his neck out for her, basically.
Yeah.
He sticks his neck out for her, not knowing what way she's going to take it.
Yeah. So he headbutts her bladder, she does a wee, he tastes and he goes, oh, how sexy, let's go.
Now, I have to be honest, lads, as you were talking there, I happened to Google a video of two giraffes mating. And I'm sorry I did. But do you want to know how two giraffes mate?
Not really, but...
Very uncomfortably.
I would
just
say
look
so.
at that. How does... Where's the passion and the love in that?
Thank you for
down to business.
Thanks for showing me that photograph.
Oh my God, it looks so... Now, the male giraffe is very well endowed. Let's just put it that way.
Well, right. And he'd probably need to be because they're tall owl yolks.
But the female appears to just stand there oblivious.
But obviously, because your man's after headbutting her.
Yeah, and she's standing there oblivious to what's going on, and he's up on his back legs. He must have some strength in his back legs.
That's a fascinating fact. Thank you, Shauna. And Ken, finally, tell us something we don't know. Oh, he's gone. Oh, did we speak to him already? Maybe we did. All right, thank you very much indeed. They were some great calls on Tell Us Something We Don't Know, and we will do the exact same thing next week on the programme. In fact, sorry, what was that last lady's name? Katie? Yeah? Shauna, we will give you a pair of tickets to go along to the Retro Drive-In movies. You can go and see Home Alone on Saturday, December 21st at 3 p.m. Okay?
See that message there?
No.
That's the exact same way me and my wife mate every night. It's very worrying.
You're listening to 98FM.
The sound of the city from Lucan to Lusk. Dublin Talks. 98FM's Dublin Talks.
And this is Adrian Kennedy with you until midday today. Now, if you were watching the Late Late Toy Show on Friday night, as half the population of the Republic of Ireland did this year, firstly, it was a great show. Well done to everyone involved. But there was one particular part of the show where Ryan Tuberty talked to a young girl called Sophia. And Sophia, if you saw it, she will stick with you because she spoke about bullying and how she has been bullied because she's a little bit different. In a couple of minutes, I'm going to be talking to Sophia's mother about the bullying that her little girl has received, all because her little girl, since the age of 8, wants to be a boy. And she was on the Late Late Toy Show on Friday night. Have a listen to this.
So you rub it when you're worried.
And if you have concerns, you give it a little rub, and then does it help the worries go away, do you think?
Yeah.
What would you have to worry about, Sophia?
The bullies.
Well, don't tell me who they are, but tell me what bullies do in life generally.
Well, people kick me, they call me weirdo, they slag my hair.
You know something? I've met you before. I love your hair.
Thanks.
I love that you're a little different to somebody down there or somebody over there, because difference is a badge of honour. If you didn't look like that, you'd look like everyone else, and that would just be bloody boring. So it's gorgeous who you are. Are we all agreed on that? Everyone else thinks that. It's true. Everyone's on your side. The good people are on your side. And I'll tell you something. This is a good thing to know. Yeah. This is a really good lesson to know. I know it's not easy right now, and that can happen in life. But I will say one thing. As somebody who's 400 years old...
No, you're 20.
I'm 20? Thank you. We are best friends. You give me cards, you give me compliments, friends forever. But I will tell you this, but even for kids at home who are going through a tough time with bullies and all that, bullies never win. No. They never win in life. They never win when they're young. They never win when they're old. And you will win because you're a gorgeous human being. Is that okay? Yeah. And are you okay? Are you minding yourself? Yeah. And do you have a message for other kids who are having a bit of trouble in their life?
Yeah.
Would you like to share the message with us?
Yeah.
What is it, Sophia?
Don't let the bullies stop the things from doing the things that you want to do. And life would just suck if everybody was the same.
That's it, exactly. So you just keep on being who you are, what you are, whatever you want to be. Can we hug this out?
That was Friday night's Late Late Toy Show, and Ryan Tuberty talking to a young girl called Sophia. And Sophia talked to her mammy back in earlier on this year, back in May. Sophia had just turned 8 and told her mammy that she wants to be a boy. And that whole journey led to her being on the Late Late Toy Show on Friday night, talking about how she is very badly bullied because she wants to be a boy. I'm going to be talking to her mammy straight after the break.
The sound of the city, from Coolock to Cabinteely. Dublin Talks. 98FM's Dublin Talks.
It's Monday morning. Good morning from Adrian Kennedy. I hope everything's good with you. Now, if you were watching, and I played that clip from the Late Late Toy Show on Friday, you will have seen young Sophia, 8 years of age, and she explained to Ryan Tuberty how she has a little stone that she rubs to make her worries go away, and her worries all revolve around bullying. And they call her a weirdo. They slag her over her hair because she essentially looks like a boy. Now, her mammy is Robin Marr, and she joins me on the line. And back in September, and this is how this whole thing started getting debated, she posted on social media to all the uneducated women who commented horrible things about a mother who's just supporting her child who is trying to find their identity. Robin is speaking about the comments that she received from people after her 8-year-old daughter told her that she wants to be a boy. And Robin joins me on the line. Robin, welcome to 98FM. Tell me, if you will, please, what you went on to say in the remainder of that post.
I was just trying to tell them, like, that just because Sophia is 8, that, like, I know she's still a child, but, like, you just have to go with it. Like, people were saying she's a child, she doesn't know what she wants. My child wants to be a mermaid, doesn't mean I turn my child into a mermaid. I was like, that's not the point. Like, this is completely different. Like, this is, like, nothing to do with a mermaid, or, like, it's Sophia's, like, decision, and I just have to go with it.
Now, you say in the post that Sophia just turned 8 and that she told you in May that she wanted to be a boy. How did you react to that? What did you say?
Well, see, she's always wanted to wear boys' clothes ever since I had her brother Jacob, and when I started getting clothes for him, she wanted the same clothes, like with pictures on it of boys' stuff. And then, so that was okay, I didn't mind that. And then she was just acting so different in May. And I was like, what is wrong with her? Like, I couldn't understand why she was acting the way she was. So I got my auntie over, and my auntie had a chat with her. And then my auntie said, go on up and talk to Sophia. So I went up to her, and she was like, Mom, I want to be a boy. And I was like, what? She's like, yeah, I want to be a boy. And I was like, but like, you wear boys' clothes and all, that's fine. She's like, no, but I actually want to get my hair cut short and be a boy. And I just thought about it, and I was like, okay. I was like, let's just like take this, like, let's think about this, Sophia, because it's a big thing to get your hair cut. So, like, I was overthinking it, and I was like, oh, what would people think if I do let her get her hair cut? Or like, are people going to judge me and like say stuff about Sophia, and will she get picked on? So I go to Sophia, right, you can get your hair cut. And I said, now people can be cruel, and people might say stuff to you like about your hair. And she goes, Mom, let me get it done, and I will just laugh at them and say, can I get on with my day now? So like, that's the way she took it, and that's the way she like held herself.
And obviously this, well, I was going to say it came as a shock. Did it come as a shock when your little girl said, Mammy, I want to be a boy? Yeah, no, it was a shock. But like, in a way, because she was dressing that, like, because she was so tomboy, like, she loved football, and like, she didn't like anything girly, and she didn't like me doing her hair and stuff, like, so like, it wasn't too much of a shock, but it was just a little bit like a taken back, going, whoa, like, because like, it's a big thing to like get your hair cut short, because I know the way people and kids can be cruel, and especially adults can say stuff too, you know. Now, you said in that post in September, to all the uneducated women who commented horrible things about a mother who was just supporting her child, who was trying to find their identity, and you put up a photograph of Sophia, but you go on to say that some family don't support her, and shame on them, but the courage and bravery she still has to express herself, to find her identity and stick up for herself to those people that put her down, and not let them stop her from being what she wants to be. So you obviously had issues with people who just can't accept your little girl being who she wants to be. Yeah. And like, but as I said to her, and she says it, like, Mom, at least I have your support and all my family, and she has Luke's support and all Luke's family support, so that's all that matters to her. Like, and what sorts of things did people say? People like, she's too young to know what she wants, and then certain people were saying like, oh, I can't look at it because she got her hair cut, like stuff like that, and like
that really upset her, like stuff like that.
Yeah, like, I can't look at it. That's a horrible thing to say. That is about
disgusting. Her. Yeah.
Like, and like, it's just horrible. Like, and then she's crying, and she just wants to be herself, like, so it's hard to let her, like, be, like, I don't know.
Okay, one of the things, I'm going to talk about Sophia's appearance on the Late Late on Friday in a second, but one of the things is that she has been bullied, and does she struggle with that, or does she rise above it, as you said?
Well, she would have a great comeback to someone who would say something to her. But then when she comes home, she breaks down to me and Luke, and like, she's so upset on, but like, why are people picking on me because of my hair? Like, I just want to be me. So like, it's hard for her.
And obviously for you, it's hard seeing your daughter coming home upset at being bullied. Luke, you can obviously hear me there as well. Can I ask you, Luke, as a male, what was your reaction to this whole developing thing over the last couple of months?
It was like initially there was a shock, but just sat down and talked to Robin and talked about it, and you just have to go with it. Like, you can't just say no. Like, it's just because that's just going to make things worse for her and in her own head. Like.
But obviously you're aware that kids are horribly cruel. Anybody who was ever bullied as a child will know how cruel kids can be. Some people will say that by allowing her to get her hair done like that, like to look essentially like a little boy, that it potentially making the bullying worse.
Yeah, that'd be fair to say. Like, everybody have their own opinion on it. But it's either kind of that'd make the bullying worse, or in her own head, she's going to be uncomfortable. She's not going to be herself. She's going to be a little, like, you know, this girl that she doesn't want to be. You know, but she's still trying to figure it all out herself. Like we all are, trying to just going with it. Yeah, well, try to do the best we can for her, and just hopefully she's happy. Like, that's all that matters. Like.
And that's all any of us want for our children. Yeah. And one of the things I love about your post, Robin, the social media post, was at the end of the day, she is loved and happy as a girl or as a boy. If she changed her mind, then so be it, but at least I supported her through it all. And that's the key to this, that you're trying to prove that yourself and Luke are supporting Sophia in whatever it is she wants to do.
Yeah, like, yes, she is only 8 and she is only a child. But, like, just let her experience that. And if she changes back into a girl, then so be it. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, she's still Sophia. She's still my daughter. Like, and I love her, like, and support her. And I'm so proud of her, like, for what she's done.
So tell me then, I played a clip a couple of minutes ago of Sophia appearing on the Late Late Toy Show on Friday, and I have to say, it was a very touching piece. Ryan Tuberty was amazing with her. How did it come to pass, Robin, that she ended up on the Late Late Toy Show talking about bullying?
Well, she was supposed to go on and talk about Pikachu, because she is obsessed with Pokemon and Pikachu. So she had, like, the Nintendo Switch Pikachu game and teddies, and then she was just going to talk about being different, like about having short hair and stuff, because they said, let's not focus on the bullying, let's just kind of focus positive and how about being different, because they said at her interview, because she went in on her own to them, that they said she was so passionate about being different and telling people that it's okay to be different. So they wanted to focus on that. So Sophia just literally done her own thing. Like, we were at home, like, and we were all crying. And then next of all, she came back on and was like, "Oh, like, I'm on TV, so who's the weirdo now?" And then we're all laughing. Like, we weren't even expecting it. Like, that's the way she is.
We wouldn't really rehearse.
Yeah, we were like, let's practice what you're going to say about the toys and all. And she's like, no, I know what I'm going to say. Like, so it's like, that was just all Sophia. Like, that's the type of person she is. Like, you don't know what she's going to say next.
I mentioned about Ryan Tuberty, and I have to say I admire the way he dealt with her. He was excellent, and all the while there was no conversation about her having her hair done as a boy or anything like that. It was all just about the bullying and how people pick on her. And Ryan, to his credit, definitely lifted her and said she's the important one. She's on the television. It was a very touching piece, I have to say.
Oh, it was. Yeah, no.
He done very well. Like, you could see in her little face that she was delighted with what he said.
Like, the way he spoke to her was amazing, and, like, she was over the moon.
Let's just have a listen. Let's just have a listen again to just a little excerpt of what was said on the Late Late on Friday.
Do you have a message for other kids who are having a bit of trouble in their life?
Yeah.
Would you like to share the message with us?
Yeah.
What is it, Sophia?
Don't let the bullies stop the things from doing the things that you want to do, and life would just suck if everybody was the same.
That's it, exactly. So you just keep on being who you are, what you are, whatever you want to be. Can we hug this out? Thank you.
So, Robin, seeing that on the Late Late on Friday must have been unbelievable as a parent.
I'm just so proud of her, like, and I'm so overwhelmed by all the lovely support and messages that, like, she's getting. Like, it's amazing, and she can't believe it. Like, people are texting me saying, "Oh, my daughter wants to get her hair cut now because of Sophia." Like, and then another message was, "Oh, my son just literally told me he's been bullied in drama class. Thanks to Sophia, he was able to tell me after watching her." Like, and I just think
just inspiring, like, loads of people and adults as well. Like.
And do you worry? Do both of you worry about this high profile that your 8-year-old now has? Does that concern you?
It is kind of overwhelming, but, like, she's loving it. Like, she's so happy. Like, she's just like a different child after it all. She can't take the smile off her face, and, like, this is what she wants. Like, I was like, "Oh, like, the papers that they're contacting me." She's like, "Yeah, I want to do it, yeah." And I was like, "Sophia, like, are you sure?" She's like, "Yeah, no, I want to do it." So like, she seems happy, and I know some people are saying, like, oh, she's too young and all this, but, like, it's that they're making a big difference, I think, and it's...
Her own confidence and self-esteem.
Yeah,
already, like, it's just...
That's fantastic. One of the things that you said in your original post is that some family don't support her, and shame on them, and the courage and bravery she still has to express herself. Has anybody's opinion changed since, you know, all of the publicity and in particular the Late Late Show appearance, and are talking about bullying?
Well, I haven't heard from that family members that have said that, so I'm not sure if they've changed their opinion now, but...
they'd want to have a heart of stone if they don't.
Eating their words now.
That's what I was meant to say, yeah. They'd want to have a heart of stone if they don't. Robin and Luke, I have to say, she's a credit to you, and if in the future she decides that she wants to be a boy, you'll support that. If she decides she wants to start wearing dresses and being a girly girl, you'll support that as well.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. Like, she's my daughter at the end of the day, so whatever she wants, I'm just going to support her through it and be there. That's all I can do.
Well, like you said in your post, once I support my child, that's all that matters.
Exactly. Like, the world is cruel enough, you know. Like, imagine not having your own mother supporting you, you know, like, through it. So. Well,
as the final words from your original post said, educate yourself before talking pure shit and putting a mother down for supporting her child. That's what you said, and they're great words. And all I can say to you, Robin, and to Luke as well, is fair play to you for having your child's back, which is what all parents should do. Not listening to those who would put your daughter down. And with support like that, she'll be a strong, healthy and happy young lady or young man, whichever way it turns out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And I wish you both the very best, and Sophia as well. I hope you have a great Christmas, and thanks very much indeed, both of you, for talking to us on 98 FM.
Thanks so much.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
All right, we've gotten a lot of lovely messages in, actually. One of the very first messages that came in to us says the following: that child shows more courage and integrity than those cowards that bully her. It takes no bravery to bully someone. It takes an animal-like mentality. Good luck to the girl. And that is from Jude. Thanks very much indeed, Jude. That's a very nice message. And a lot more messages coming in. Her daughter is a credit to her, says that message. Another message says, I won't pretend to understand how Sophia or her mum feels about any of this, but well done to this family supporting and loving this brave kid. I guarantee that if Mammy didn't support Sophia, she would have gotten abuse on Facebook, so you just can't win with some people. So don't try. Enjoy your family and your Christmas. I feel Sophia will do great things in the future, and the best of luck to you all, says that message. And lots more besides. Karen, you're on 98 FM. Hi, Karen.
Hi, how are you?
Now, you've been listening to Robin telling the story of her daughter Sophia. We heard her from the Late Late Show the other night. You are dealing with the exact same issue.
Yeah, we are. I just want to say absolutely well done to Sophia and her mum, and we're just in awe of her strength. Well done. Ava's standing here beside me, high five. But yeah, we are, and Ava's at that age now. She's at that stage where she's always presented as a boy from age 3. We haven't known any different, whereas with Sophia, I suppose it's just started for this year, but it just always has been. So it's not as much of an issue, but it's only presented now when she's 11, turning 12. So it is.
What is presenting as an issue?
Yeah, it never really, like, bullying and comments and stuff was never really an issue up until now, where Ava really presents as a boy. And, you know, her circle of friends, they're starting at that age now where puberty starts, and their chats amongst each other are changing, and different groups like sleepovers and things like that, that's all starting to change, and Ava's body is starting to change, and the way she thinks. So now it's starting to present like where Sophia was at 7 and 8. We were kind of going, right, we'll see how it goes, and she might change, she might just continue on the way she is. So what? Like, whatever, when she's happy.
So you just like Robin, Sophia's mammy, was telling us that she will stand by her child in doing whatever her child wants to do, which is what any good supportive parent should do.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're fighting your child's corner, like every parent out there. And we've a ring of steel around Ava. You know, it's literally at this age now where we're so glad that children as young as Sophia, there's so many children that we have spoken to different groups that are just want to be accepted for who they are, and just let them be happy for who they are. But, you know, and it's their mums and dads that are fighting their corner, and we're scared. You know, we're scared because we don't know if we're saying the right thing, if we're doing the right thing. And, you know, we're just learning and going on this journey with our children. So,
and, you know, people, I've been reading some commentary from some people, and people, you know, making out that this is a new phenomenon, this gender issue. But the reality of it is, it's not. And if every one of us thinks to when we were younger, all of us knew some girl who we would have called a tomboy. We all know of boys that we would have seen as sissy boys. They were, but they didn't. We didn't have any way of dealing with it. They just were who they were. And I know Ava is going to have a chat with me in a second. Your daughter is 11. And if you stay on the line there for 1 second, Karen and Ava, I'm going to talk to Ava straight after the break. Stay there for 1 second.
Okay, thanks.
The sound of the city, from Lucan to Lusk. Dublin Talks. 98FM's Dublin Talks.
And this is Adrian Kennedy with you until midday today. We were talking a while ago to Robin Marr, whose daughter Sophia appeared on the Late Late Toy Show on Friday night with Ryan Tubridy, talking about bullying, talking about how people slag her over her hair and whatever. And this young girl is 8, and last May she told her mammy she wanted to be a boy. And that's what she wants. In her post, Robin said, people who say she's too young to know it's a phase, it's just for attention, who cares? Once I support her, that's all that matters. Now, we've been listening to Karen, whose 11-year-old daughter, Ava, identifies as a boy as well. And Ava, at 11 years of age, is going to talk to me. Ava, how are you?
Good, yourself?
Good, thank you. And thanks very much indeed for talking to me.
No problem at all.
Ava, when did you first know that you want to be a boy?
So this was about... we're talking about 2016 now. I came out to my mum and my dad, and I was so lucky because they are so supportive and continue supportive. And
what did you say to them?
I just came clear to them that I want to be a boy, because there's no other way. Like, there's no point of like covering it up for so long.
And going back to then, when you told them this, how did you know that you wanted to be a boy?
Because since I was younger, I would always wear like boys' clothes. I'd be like everything I owned was all boy stuff. I'd never wear, like, the only thing that I actually wore that was a girl was my communion, and then like that lasted only the mass, and that was it. Okay, all right. So you've known for a long time that you want to be a boy. Now, you were listening to. I'm sure you heard the piece with Sophia on the Late Late Show on Friday, and she spoke about how people slag her, about how she gets bullied over her hair and everything else. Have you experienced the same thing, Ava? I have. The first time I came out, but over the years, I've had so many people just accept me because they're used to it. Like, I remember the first day I went into school, and everybody was shocked, but it took a week, and I'm so lucky because all my friends, they accept me for who I am.
Which is fantastic. And you know they're your real friends because they just accept you for who you are. But in terms of the others, and I'm sure there are others who don't accept you for who you are, how do you deal with that?
there's no point to keeping them. Like, I had a friend for about 3 years, and I came out to everybody, and he was like texting me like all that, like, you shouldn't be I can't believe this, I don't want to talk to you ever again, and more.
Right, okay. And you just moved on?
Exactly, like, there's no point of just staying on the one person to keep you down.
Fair play to you, Ava. That's great strength. I admire you for that strength. Do you still get picked on?
Not so much anymore, because I have so many good friends to keep me secure, I guess. And my mother and my dad.
Brilliant. Now, you say from a young age you knew or you know that you want to be a boy. You've heard people saying about Sophia, for example, that it's a phase she's going through, and she'll grow out of it and everything else. At your age, you'll be going to secondary school probably next year, will you?
Yeah.
Do you see this, or what do you say to people who say, it's just a phase she's going through?
I think it's mostly adults that would say that, and I think that they need to educate themselves.
That's very interesting that you should say that, because it is adults who are sending in negative messages into this radio station, would you believe? It's not young people of your age, it's adults sending in messages that show a lack of tolerance. So they're the people who need to educate themselves.
Yeah, because, like, they shouldn't be, like, this is a kid they're talking about, a kid that they're crushing on. There's no point of being rude, because that's somebody's sexuality, and you shouldn't be bullying somebody over their sexuality, because everybody's different.
It's sad that, like I said, some of the messages, and I'm not going to even give any of them by giving any credit by reading out any of their messages, because it is sad but wonderful at the same time to hear an 11-year-old like yourself, Ava, who's got more maturity than half the idiots who are sending messages into this radio station, and that's just the truth of it. Let me ask you then, you're going to secondary school next year. How do you plan to deal with possible negativity next year when you go to secondary school, when you're in a new school with a new group of friends or a new group of people around you?
The most you can do is try and find real friends. As I said about the guy that I used to be friends with, there's no point of going back to him now. He's well gone, and whoever wants to disrespect me, like my dad always says, get in the queue.
Wow, that's just incredible. Ava, listening to your strength of character, I have no doubt that you will be very, very strong in going into your teenage years. I was reading a message that was sent in to me a couple of minutes ago, and I want to read it to you, if I can just find it. I'll find it now in 1 second, but it's basically from a mother whose child, it was exactly... Oh, yeah, here we are. We don't have all of the answers. My child was born a girl from the age of 2 or 3 and called herself boys' names, wanted to be a boy. He is now 20 and lives as a male, name and gender changed, and happy out. We as parents have to support our children. Their happiness is all that matters. When you hear a message like that about somebody who's exactly like you, Ava, does that give you confidence?
It does indeed, just to show that there is more people like me and Sophia out there. You never know, that kid could have went through bullying stages as well, since all trans, I guess, people do go through a bullying stage, but we all have to just grow over it, because there's nothing else you can do. Because if it keeps on going on, it's just going to affect you, and there's no point to keep it going on.
So back to one of my questions that I asked you a while ago. As an 11-year-old, many people listening to you will say, and I said this already, but it's a phase she's going through. Do you see your future, Ava, as
being a teenage boy and ultimately an adult man?
I do. I really do. With the support I'm getting from my parents and family, I really do. And before I even came on, my nanny was texting me, good luck, Ava. We love you all.
That's fantastic. That is amazing. I'm blown away by people, by parents and grandparents. And in fact, we were talking only a while ago to Sophia's granddad as well, who all have their kids back. And that's what parents are meant to do, regardless of what it is. Ava, stay there for 1 second, because I want to play a message that's just come in to me from a man called Peter. I want you to have a listen to this, okay?
Yep.
Morning, Adrian. Morning, Ava. Fair play to you. You know what? I think you're a credit to young boys and girls out there now. You know, you're brave, you're strong, and that air of confidence I can hear in your voice when you're talking on the radio will get you very, very far in life. I wish you all the best of luck in everything you do. You are a true inspiration, and you know what? If my kids can grow up to be just as strong as you, I would be a very, very happy father. Well done. You have me in tears here. Well done, good girl. Well done. Oh boy, sorry.
That's brilliant, isn't it, Ava? Isn't that nice to hear?
Yeah, it's just an amazing feeling that some people, they understand, and they understand I can't even put it into words.
And okay, stay there and have a listen to this message from Ali.
Wow, what an amazing...
Oh, sorry, I'll have to start. I'll start that again. Sorry, hang on there for 1 second. Ava, here we go.
Wow, what an amazing, beautiful child, Ava. So inspirational. Fair play to you, so brave. I'm sure your parents and all your family are extremely proud of you. All the best in the future.
And listening to your mammy a couple of minutes ago, Ava, she is very proud of you. And
I'm a mess right now.
Well, stay there, both of you, for a second. Let me talk to Lauren. You're on 98FM, Lauren. How are you?
Hi, how are you? Hi.
And I know you were ringing in with support for Ava as well.
I was. I just want to say, I can't believe, Ava, that you're 11 years of age. I never would have thought so. You are so brave. You're such an inspiration. And I think people like you and Sophia are going to lead the way for younger kids to make it easier for them to come out and to be who they really want to be. And I really hope that my kids are half as brave and as brilliant as you are. And I think you are so special. And I know, and I can't imagine how great your parents feel, but I just wish you nothing but the best. I think you're an amazing young girl, and you are going to really help a lot of kids. You really are.
Lauren, why has this affected you so much? Why has it touched you so much?
Because, I have kids, and I have a son who finds it very hard, not in anything like this, but he finds it hard to make friends, and he's different, and I just feel, it really gets to me that kids can be so cruel, and I just... And
by the way, can I just tell you, Lauren, it's not just kids. Yeah. Kids learn from adults.
They really do.
And I just got a message in a second ago from somebody saying, this doesn't surprise me that it's adults texting in ignorant comments. When I got into work this morning, the first thing I heard was an ignorant comment about that beautiful girl, Sophia, from a grown adult. So kids learn from adults. And the point of this conversation is to get through to the thick skulls of idiots who have negative comments to make about a child. Grow up, act like an adult, and stop making negative comments, because those negative comments filter down to the kids who bully people like Sophia and Ava and so on. Lauren, thank you very much indeed for your call. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Best of luck, Ava.
And Ava, all I can say is well done you.
Thank you very much.
Is this the very first time you've spoken on the radio?
Yes.
Well, you'd never know. That's all I can tell you. I wish you the very best. And Karen, as a mammy, you should be very proud of Ava.
Every day.
And this is a conversation that we as a nation have to have. We need to rid the ignoramuses of their stupidity, of their lack of education, and accept kids for who they are. End of conversation.
That, Sophia gave everybody a platform on Friday while they were sitting beside their children to use that opportunity that this little girl had given them to educate their children on equality and diversity. And, you know, that is a lot of parents say, oh, I don't want my child, you know, they're very young, I don't want them to hear anything about anything like that. But if they're asking questions, answer the questions. And because this is the society today, this is what children talk about, they know about it.
Absolutely.
And so use that, whatever information you have, and tell them, and just make life just that little bit easier on the other kids who are finding it difficult.
Karen, thank you very much for talking to us, and thank you for giving us permission to talk to your daughter. And Ava, well done. You were brilliant to talk to. I really enjoyed talking to you. Thanks very much indeed.
Would you mind before I go? I'd just like to say to Sophia, there's no point of listening to the bullies. They're just going to bring you down. And always remember that you always have somebody by your side, and to never go alone.
Well done, Ava. Thanks very much for talking to me.
Thanks, Adrian.
Thank you. Bye-bye. All right. A couple of your messages. I'm sorry we're way over time here, but wow, these kids are phenomenal, says this message. The strength they have is fantastic. Keep doing what you're doing, Ava and Sophia. You're both a credit to yourselves and your parents. Much love from Sue in Sandyford. And a new Irish helpline. If you've been affected, or if this is something you're dealing with in your family right now, a new Irish helpline for families of trans and gender non-conforming people has been launched, called the Gender Identity Family Support Line, which is an initiative by the Transgender Equality Network Ireland and LGBT Ireland. And if you want to contact them, their number is a Dublin number. It's 01 907 3707. 01 907 3707. Thank you for listening today. Sorry for running way over time. We're back again tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Barry Dunn is on the way, and in the next hour he's got some great music lined up like these.
The sound of the city, from Ballybrack to Ballymun. Dublin Talks. 98FM's Dublin Talk.